Let me open up Twitch just to make sure. I have it all in OBS now. I don't know if my OBS updated or some other thing. Open up Twitch just to make sure. I have it all. Okay, so Okay, so right now it appears we're live, so that's good. I'm not gonna. I don't have to monitor the chat in Twitch, which is a big plus, because let's be real, it does get a bit distracting. But I can easily do that here in OBS now. Everything's in like one place. I still have to like get an overlay, which I plan on doing eventually. Not sure what the easiest way is to achieve that. If anyone can let me know, I'd be grateful. Okay, so what are we even doing today? So what we're doing, let me get the music going. The music is more for you guys than me, honestly. Okay. No, this says, yeah, no, I don't want that one. Shut up. My favorite one is, let's start from here. I like that one. Okay. Let's not get distracted by the music. So, what I want to do is create a scene that essentially displays this in a scrolling fashion. I found a YouTube video that's really helpful. I haven't actually watched it, so I'm literally watching it for the first time. That actually shows you exactly how to do this. So instead of just like following it along straight, I'm just gonna go through it, and then we're gonna come back and discuss it. Let me actually do that off screen. Let's see. Unity 2D. Text crawling. That's what I want. Text crawl. I sincerely hope I don't have to like pay for anything or a third-party asset. We could upgrade this, which we might do eventually, but either way, I feel like.
Hello there, I'm Jimmy Vegas, and in this mini Unity.
Give me one sec.
Hello there,
This is like 6 years old. I don't really want that.
Scrolling may be. Hello.
Scrolling background 90 seconds.
Alright, first step is to...
These are all like 1 minute long, so we can actually go through these.
First step is to ensure that your image that you would like to scroll is set to repeat, and that the component that you're using is raw image and not just image, as raw image gives us access to the UV rect.
Okay, this is not relevant.
Hi guys. Today we're going to look at...
Hello everyone.
Hey guys.
Okay, so 2D, what I'm trying to do is, let's see, Unity 2D, Prologue, scene, text crawl, yeah, here we go.
Hey.
This is actually more relevant.
Hello
Stop using...
Hello everyone.
Stop using Godot to make...
Let's see, how to make... It's not really a dialogue system.
Hey, do you make games?
Hey everyone, and welcome.
Hey, do you make games?
That's hilarious. This might be the one I found.
In this video, I'll show you how to create a scrollable UI text.
But that's the thing, I don't want like a scrollable text. I want something that like does it automatically, so that's not really relevant. Where was that video? Prologue text. Maybe I'm just looking for the wrong thing.
When it comes to cutscenes and...
I'm gonna show...
Hi dear friends.
I'm not looking for something super complex. Okay, I don't know why this plays. I'm not looking for something
Hello.
super
I
super complicated, but like
This is you. Oh,
intro story. Ah, okay, here we go. This might actually be it.
What's up, guys? Today I got another tutorial for you. This one was actually a request that was made by another member of a Discord community that I'm in. And what he was trying to do was add a little intro cutscene to his game before the game actually starts, so that when you press new game, a little story pops up. And when that story ends, it basically transitions you to the start of the game. So today I'm going to show you guys how to make something like that. It's pretty simple. I already have one done for a old game that I was making. So let me just play it so you guys can see what it'll look like.
Always subscribe, it helps the channels. Let me see if this is actually what I want to do. Have been released from prison the same day of her disappearance. See, as you can see, it like fades and then appears. That's what we're going for here. Having until he suddenly. Let's watch this full screen just to get that effect. I hope this doesn't get me copyright stricken. I don't think it will. Ooh, that's definitely interesting. Okay, I don't know about the rest of this stuff here. I feel like we don't really need that. But if I'm going to go for a George R. R. Martin style game, like Elden Ring was written, the dialogue, the lore, and I guess the dialogue too was written by George R. R. Martin. So if you don't know who George R. R. Martin is, which I think it's only like a small number of people who don't, he wrote Game of Thrones. He was the sole creator behind the Game of Thrones world, which I'm pretty sure everyone knows what Game of Thrones is. Like, not they didn't have to watch it, but they know like what it is.
Cool. So as you guys can see,
So that was actually interesting to me.
there's a lot of stuff going on, but I'm just going to focus on this first part here. So what actually happens is when this timeline is done playing, this empty game object activates that actually has a script on it. And what this script does is actually, upon activation, it transports us to the next scene. So it basically loads the
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to go for.
next scene, which was that other cutscene you were seeing with the camera zooming in on that camera.
If you guys want to
and
watch
painting
this, I'll link
behind
this
it.
in the chat.
And that is actually another
Seriously, show this guy some love, even if you aren't a game developer.
timeline animation that has the same thing on it actually, which is another one of these guys, which then transports us and loads that scene loader scene, which is what you guys saw with the.
So essentially, what he's saying is, everything before this object here is the story.
The spinning dial and the little paragraph there, and that was actually loading our main game. So right now I'm just going to focus on this part. And what I'm going to do is actually basically start from scratch. So I'm just going to delete all this here. And I'll get it back because I'm not going to save this new stuff. But just going to delete pretty much everything. Okay, so when you create a new scene, this is pretty much what you're going to get. You're going to get a main camera, a directional light, maybe some other stuff. But what I wanted here was a completely black screen. So I just disabled my directional light. That way, we just have a pitch black screen there. And you want to be in
I think ours is going to be simple because it's a 3D game.
2D mode for this.
I'm sorry, it's a 2D game.
You want to be able to see your
But
canvas.
useful
So what we're
for...
going to do is we're going to go to Game Object, UI, and we're going to create a canvas. And as you can see, we get this little rectangle here. And this is basically what is going to hold all of our text and everything that you're going to see on the bottom. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to create a timeline for this canvas. If you don't see your timeline window, just go to Window, Rendering, Window, Sequencing, and Timeline. And just click on that, and it's going to pop.
So that's how this works. It's a timeline. So that's the key component that handles the cutscenes. Okay.
With this timeline tab here. So what we want to do is...
By the way, I've never done anything with cutscenes. This is like legitimately my first time attempting this.
We want to click on our canvas that we just made.
So I'm approaching it with like fresh pair of eyes.
And we're going to create a new canvas timeline and save that somewhere where you can find it.
Stupid Z. I can't pronounce that.
Cool. So what we want to do is actually now we want to create some text, which is basically going to be our story. So we want to click on canvas. Right click on canvas, go down to UI, and hit the text button here. Now, as you can see, this is really small.
We're going to use TextMesh Pro because this is a 2020 video.
Can't see
2021, but yeah, now TextMesh Pro is like the real deal.
Just type in what we want. So I'm going to do this in a few sentences. I'm going to put, this is the first sentence of the story. And obviously you can put whatever you want. And we still can't see this. So what we got to do is go over to our rectangle tool, which is by default already going to be selected. And we just want to drag that, make that a little bit bigger.
You know, watch this at 1.25
so
speed.
That we can fit our text in it. And obviously we still can't see our text because the font size is so small. So let's make that, I don't know, probably that's a little small. I think mine was 100. Let me make this 100 and see. Yeah, 100's good. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can make it whatever size you want. But as you can see now, we can actually see this. And I kind of want to position mine towards the bottom. Sorry, my throat's a little messed up today. So let's go down to our paragraph alignment, center this, and put it in the bottom. Okay, so now as you can see, it's centered right about there. And you can see that line helps us out a little bit. So let's move this down right about...
One important thing, this video is really just for me to like understand what to do. If it's going too fast, I linked it in the chat. Let me see if I can actually figure out a way to pin it. Oh, you can't do that from here? That's lame. I don't know. How do I pin a chat? Oh, here it is. Okay. Or can I pin this message? Is there a way to do that? There is no way to do that, is there? I don't know. Okay, so refreshing it wasn't... Okay, I don't know. I'm getting distracted.
There. Yeah, I think that looks good. Change this color to white. That way we can see it. And you guys can mess with the fonts too if you want. You can, change it whatever font you want.
I'm going to use my sci-fi font. I feel like that's the best one.
Uploaded, so I'm just going to use this one for now. Alright, so now we have the first sentence of our story. So how do we get it to pop up on the screen there? So what we want to do is on our canvas timeline, we're going to take that text. Let me just rename it to first sentence to just be a little bit more organized. Let's drag that down here. And what we want to do is add an activation track.
Activation track.
On my other one, actually, I had an animation track, which allowed me to kind of fade the text in and fade it out, and that's a little bit more complicated. So for now, I'm just going to stick with this, just so you guys can get a rough idea of how it's done. Okay? So when we play this, you can see that nothing really happens, just because there's only one thing here. So let's add another one. So let's just duplicate this. I'm going to change the name to...
It's actually not that hard.
Second sentence. And let's change the text on this one. Okay, so let's put... This is the...
Honestly, cutscenes are pretty cool in games, as a general rule of thumb.
Okay. And as you can see... Oops.
It's just my opinion,
they kind of
though.
overlap each other. But you're not going to see that, because what we're going to do...
There are other aspects of games that are cool, too, but I feel like storytelling is the most important.
And if we drag this to start when the second one finishes, then you can see that it's only going to play at the start of 3 seconds. And we can move this around here, kind of give it some space. It's really up to you. So the first one's going to play.
Disappears and then appears.
Okay. And you can make it start right when this one finishes. You can
I guess we can worry about the fading.
Fade in, fade out effect if you want. And let's just do one more. Why not? Let's do third sentence. And let's see, this is the third sentence of the story. Go back to our canvas, drag and drop this, activation track, and start. Oops. Let's start it
What would be cool is like a voiceover,
about a half second later.
but I mean
Each of these is
that's
going on for 3 seconds.
for
So
that
let's
I
just
need
put that
like
at 3 seconds there.
to do it ethically. I need to find someone who's a good
And as you can see,
who's a
since these are activation tracks, if you look up here, as they activate, they appear in the hierarchy, which is really cool because it's going to activate them only when it needs to, so they're not all on the screen at once. Okay. So let's play that and see how it looks.
first sentence of a story, second sentence of a story, third sentence of a story.
Okay, so I need to change this. There we go. And if you noticed, I didn't space these out properly, so this was okay. It was a full second. Okay. There we go. So now everything's evened out. And the last thing we want to do is actually create a scene loader. So we're going to right click, create empty, and you can just call it, I'll just call it next scene loader or something. And what we want to do is we want to attach a script to this that's going to on enable load our next scene. So let's go to our project, and I actually have a script already done, so you guys can just copy this. So let me open it, and just copy this exactly.
Okay, so I already have my implementation on how to load a scene, so I can easily refer to the way I do things on my end. But we do have to like add this to our scene manager. Let me actually show you. So once we create that scene, I guess we just have to go here, go to the build settings, and actually add that here. And ideally, it has to go between title menu and character select. All these other scenes were test, but the one that really matters here, character select doesn't matter, but I feel like we could just move that one up here and that's fine. But we should go straight from title menu to new input test. So right from here to here, that's where it should be. By the way, I'm going to use this as a test room. So this is still going to have a point. Like whenever I introduce a new mechanic, this room is here is going to be, it's going to serve as a test room. So I just wanted to point that out.
Well, there's going to be two things you want to change. Since my script is called main story, this is going to be called main story. Now, if your script was called something else, just make sure that whatever you call this is what matches this, or else it's not going to work. And in between the parentheses here, you want to put the name of the next scene you want to load. So, for example, if you look in my build settings here, we have our intro, or sorry, our main story, which is the scene we're working on now, main story, and we're going to load the intro. Okay, so you want to take that next scene, put it into your build settings here, and make sure that it comes after the scene we're working on. Okay? So
apparently the order does matter. Or you could specify it, I guess.
Back to our scene loader. And what we want to do is drag the script we just made onto that scene loader. And what it's going to do is when we enable this scene loader here, let's go back to our timeline, drag and drop the scene loader in here, add activation track, put that, I'll put it right here, I guess.
But this video is super relevant for what I'm trying to do here.
What it's going to do is it's going to load our next scene. So you can see right now it's not active. Once it activates, it has that script on it that's actually going to load our next scene. So let's just play this and see if it loads that next cutscene that I had already made. Okay. So it basically loaded it instantly. And the reason it did that, sorry about that. The reason it did that is because this is already active. So you want to deactivate this so that it only activates when we want it to activate. So let's go back. Let's try to play this again. Boom. There. Now you
Hold on, I completely missed what happens here.
Instantly. And the reason it did that, what it's going to do, you want to put the build settings here. And what we want to do is drag the script we just made onto that scene loader. And what it's going to do is when we enable this scene loader here, let's go back to our timeline, drag and drop the scene loader in here, add activation track, put that, I'll put it right here, I guess. You can put it right after. I'll just put it the second after. What it's going to do is it's going to load our next scene. So you can see right now it's not active. Once it activates, it has that script on it that's actually going to load our next scene. So let's just play this and see if it loads that next cutscene that I had already made. Okay. So it basically loaded it instantly. And the reason it did that, sorry about that. The reason it did that
So we have to like deactivate this. Super
is because
important.
this is already active. So you want to deactivate this.
It's actually not as
So
hard
that
as I
only
thought it
activates
was.
when we want it to activate. So let's
Well, I mean the fading of the text will be, but we'll get to that
go
eventually.
back. Let's try to play this again. Boom, and there, now you see it's working. So this first sentence goes, second sentence goes, third sentence goes, and then after that it should load our next scene. And just like that, our next scene is loaded. Cool. One last thing you guys can do, just for, to make it sound a little better, we can add some music to this. So let's go to our project and move this up here. Didn't really put, I'll just put this in here just for example.
This is just music stuff.
Put whatever music you
Let's
want.
go through this a little faster.
Zoom back in a little bit. What's really cool about this too,
I want to see if he's gonna add the fading effects.
You can change the volume of this music, you can change when it fades in and fades out. You can do a lot of stuff with it. So let's just play this one more time.
I don't have any music that I want to use yet. I guess I will eventually.
Alright, so now we have a little beginning story that transitions into the next scene of our game. And obviously, like I said, the one I had was a little bit more complicated. Let me go back to it. Go back to my project here. Let's not save this. Let that load a little bit. Cool. Alright, so as you can see, the one I made earlier has our story sentences in it, and actually I use animation tracks. So what I did was I actually animated each sentence to kind of fade in and fade out. So for example, this first sentence ended at 7 seconds. So if I go back to my second sentence, you can see that it's not going to start until about 8 seconds. So the first one ends at 7 seconds, and there's a little bit of a gap, and then the second sentence starts at 8 seconds and does the same thing. So that's how you guys would add animations, basically, to kind of give that fade in, fade out effect there.
You have to add animation tracks. And I guess the animation like fades the text.
Also, I have some audio. I have
Pretty sure that's
light that, as you guys can see,
what you meant to
red light.
say.
Go to my directional light. I got this little firelight script attached to it that kind of gives it a little pulsating effect. And I have just some music. The music I found, added that to it. And then right here is when my scene loader activates. So right around 45 seconds, this scene loader activates here, and it transitions us into that next cutscene. Cool. So hopefully this tutorial helped you guys. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe as well. I'll see you in the next one.
Okay, so that's a good video. Keep it open just in case we need it for reference. For now, let's go and create a new scene. It's going to be a basic 2D built-in scene. We'll go ahead and save this as the prologue scene. Or just call it prologue, really. Naming doesn't really matter. We're going to make this background. So I always like to change the main camera to something else. Feel like that's appropriate. And what I'm going to do is create a panel or a canvas first. So UI panel. We already let's see. The panel has a background image. But me looking here, why don't we see what's in here and try to use the appropriate components that we already have in our arsenal, rather. We can actually figure out what this is here. So this is like the background, and it's BG00. And what is component 3 exactly? So if I disable that, okay, so that whole thing is this. Okay, cool. So component 3 doesn't really have an image, but it has a background. What is a background? It's just an image. But what I'm what I'm wondering here is if I go into scenes, if I go into the prologue scene, I don't want to change anything. If I go into a prologue scene, if I go into the canvas and changes to like BG00. Okay, so I was severely limiting myself there. The problem is it's not really transparent. We can actually make it more opaque, or we can make it less opaque. I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I don't want to set on Earth. We'll have to change the story because this is specifically sci-fi. What about this? See, the thing is, we're just messing around with like what's there. We don't want it a bit distracting. You know what I mean? Trying to figure out which one's good. Yeah, okay, I guess this one's good. To be a little less indecisive, we'll go with that one. Let's see. This is transparent, isn't it? Like, it kind of looks that way. Okay, so now what do we do? So let's go back to our other scene. The sci-fi UI one, that is. And what I want to know is the font that we were using. Wait, hold on. This one. I think I opened the wrong one. Okay, here we go. I like this font here. And this font is Playbold SDF. But what else fonts do we even have? There has to be like a fonts folder. Play bold, play regular. I feel like this is Aldrich. Regular, maybe? What we'll have to do is we'll have to like play around and see what works and what doesn't. Let's see. So in our canvas here, we got our panel. So in our panel, we're going to create a text message pro object. There's something on my screen. And that's going to be... Because remember, we have like a bunch of paragraphs here. We got paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, and paragraph... Oh, we got 5 paragraphs. Goddamn. Okay. 4 and then 5. So we need like 5 of these. Let's duplicate these, I guess. By the way, if you've chatted with me and I haven't seen your message, why haven't I seen your message? Okay, so I'm just going to assume that my built-in Twitch chat in OBS is working. 'Cause I'm still like, I haven't, I'm using it like for the first time, so I'm not 100% sure if it's gonna work. So yeah, if you're saying something and I don't see it, then it's probably not working. But I mean, it seems like it is because I was able to post something. Okay, whatever. Let's break these down. We still want it at 0, 0, so we'll keep that one there. But this one's going to be what we're going to change. The font, we can actually change it here. Aldrich regular, play bold, play liberation. See, okay, that's the one that came with, so it's not that one. Play regular, it's way too small. Play bold, maybe that one here. I don't know, I kind of like bold. I don't know about you. We'll keep it simple for now. There's only like 2 fonts here. So we'll do the same thing for all these. Wait, sorry. I clicked something I shouldn't have. Alright, so let's try that one here. Remember what I said? Aldrich regular, and what about this one? What is this one? Play bold, I'm sorry. Wait, there should be play bold. Said something and I did something else. How embarrassing. Okay. And then liberation font. Oh wait. It's quite quiet in here. It's kind of boring without music, honestly. You get what I'm trying to do here, so I'm just gonna, you know, do my thing. If there are comments or chats, I'll respond to them. This is why I keep looking in that direction. Right, so where are we at now? I literally said let's not change the position. Let's put it back where it was. Okay, so I like this. I like the font. I think we can sort of make it bigger. Or maybe not. Or we could just leave it that way. Doesn't really matter. The most important thing is the a timeline. We need to find the timeline. Sequencing, here it is, timeline. And we can actually move it right here. And it still looks more or less the same from that video I just watched. So that's good. Oh, and we can actually like create our scene mover. How do I spell Prologue? Is it UE or is it just Prologue? I feel like that's how I spell Prologue. I spelled it right up here, I'm pretty sure, but it's one of those words I just don't know, because both sound right. Okay, so what do we do here? We want this to be bigger. Let's see what 50 looks like. I feel like that's way too big, but you know. So let's actually move it to tip top. I don't know. Let's do like 25, or auto size it, and you know it'll adjust based on like how we want it. Ooh, wait, I didn't do that right. Hold on, give me 1 sec. So this is actually what we want to do. We also want to center it too, right? Center, but center on both, basically. Then what do we do up here? Okay, so the best way to test this is to see if it actually looks correct is to copy one of these paragraphs and see how it looks. Maybe we can make it a bit smaller. We'll auto size it though. They're not gonna like overlap or anything. That's not the goal, to make them overlap, you know. I feel like maybe that, I don't know. Let's disable these so we can focus on one text component at a time. Just see how it looks here. Okay. Huh. The more I think about it, the more it looks better in the center. Okay, let's do that. Let's move this down a bit. Let's move it, I guess, right here. And we can anchor it in the center, which I think it's already like designed to be that way. They're not always going to be in the same position, so I guess we'll just have to like focus on one control because not all of them are like, I guess, equal. I don't know if that's like the right word. We'll just have to like play around with it and see what works and what doesn't. Throw something at the wall and see what sticks, basically. Okay, so we already set that as, I think they're all play bold. Am I missing one? I feel like I am. Let me just add a new one. So this one right here, it's going to be text paragraph 5 rather. Okay. So what's the idea here? There really is no idea here because we're just messing with this one right now. Okay. Well, we do need to add some text. So let's see how this looks. So let's say this is disabled. So the way this works is one is enabled. I think, should we disable all of them? Actually, no, this shows up first. I'm sorry, this shows up first. And then this shows up. Oh, I'm sorry. So then there's a transition period, and then that shows up. And then, now let's look at this one here. This one here, it's also going to be auto size. I think that's good. I think that's. Can also move this down a bit. Anchor it to the middle center. Oops, I'm sorry. Let's move it up a bit. We'll have to adjust the heights just to make sure they're not like inconsistent. Just make sure that. Okay, so that I just want to make sure I didn't copy the same thing twice. Which fortunately I didn't, so I don't have to worry about that necessarily. Let's look at this one here. Okay, so I'm gonna export all my VODs to YouTube. So definitely check them out on YouTube if you want. Don't necessarily have to, but I might try streaming on YouTube. I feel like that's better for silent streams, so I'm going to be streaming on there as well. I don't really care about the Twitch loyalty thing. I think it's a bit cringe to be like loyal to like one specific platform. Because like, what if Twitch just disappears or I get banned for something stupid? You know? So that's just why loyalty to like one platform is like not ideal. I'm not saying Twitch will ever ban me. I'm not saying I'll get banned for anything. I'm just saying like if that were to hypothetically happen. Okay. you know. Ow. The wrist is like killing me. I might have to change the story here a bit, because essentially it's like all about automatons. That was like my original idea going forward, like as far as like what sort of plot I should go with. As far as the plot device goes, I feel like this is appropriate for now. It's my first game, so I don't want to make it super complicated. But, you know, it's always a good idea to like be ambitious. There we go. That should be all of it. Let's disable that one. We're gonna start with this one here anyway. Save. Let's see. We don't really care about the transform. Go wherever it wants to be, I guess. But either way, I feel like this is where we would actually do the. Okay, so let's go ahead and actually like look at adding this in. Hope you guys like my new background. It's pretty legit, right?
All our text and everything that you
Okay, I don't see anything about creating a file.
Window sequencing and timeline. Just click on that and it's gonna populate with this timeline tab here. So what we want to do is
Might be in here somewhere.
that we just made and click create. And we're gonna create a new canvas timeline and save that somewhere where you can find it. I just saved it to my desktop. I'm just gonna do it later. Cool. So what we want to do is actually now.
Oh wait, what?
Create a new canvas timeline and save that.
Oh, okay. So you create one file. I feel like we should create a folder for that. So let's do folder and then sequences. Okay, so we have the sequences here. So in here, this is where we like actually create a sequence. And this is where we would save it. So let's go back to our timeline here and add this in here. To begin with a new timeline with pixel. Okay, so it looks like we only have to do this once. So assets. I think I was already in there, but I just want to make sure. And it's going to be frickin', what's the name you want to give it? Oh, I know. Prologue sequences. There we go. Why is this telling me that's... Oh, it's disabled. It has to be enabled. Okay, there we go. Where do I click though? So I don't play this. Do I just drag it in? Wait a sec, did I do something wrong? Let me go back here and just delete this, because I feel like that's not what I want. But what do we do? Do we just...
Where you can find it. I just saved it to my desktop and timeline. And just click on that and it's gonna populate with this timeline tab here. So what we want to do is we want to click on our canvas.
Oh, I see what we're doing. Okay. You gotta click on the canvas. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, but either way, it's the prologue. And we'll save it there. And we can actually like start dragging in stuff here. But we want to make sure we have the root object selected. In this case, it's the sequence. But we can actually do that here. Okay, so the problem here... Well, I mean, this is enabled anyway, right? So let's play this. great. I feel like we want to give people enough time to read, so let's make it a little longer. Can we expand it this way? Or, oh. Okay, that seems a little abrupt. Let's make it move a little that way. That or way. I wonder if this also has a frame. The duration, okay, so it might be the duration. What is the duration? Frames. Seconds. Let's give them at least like 15 seconds. What would that do? Make it bigger? Okay, cool. But I feel like that's, yeah, I feel like that's okay. But I feel like 15 seconds is somewhat reasonable. Why is it yelling at me? Alright, so let's create another set. But let's give it some time to breathe. This specific one will be also 15 seconds. Let's try it. If you can't already tell, this is like super easy. Oop, I'm sorry. Why did I pause it? Alright, pause. Between text paragraph 1 and text paragraph 2, it'd be appropriate to fade that animation, but that would have to be done in animation frames. I have to like review that a little bit more. And obviously music actually speeds it up too. This is more in the realm of video editing, which I've done before. It's just more time consuming. Okay, so that's interesting. Let's see. So you got text paragraph 1, text paragraph 2. We're not quite done yet. Let me zoom out a bit. What's the difference between 960 and 1080? 1. Okay, 960. Clearly I'm not reading this right. Is this really 960? I feel like it should be. No, 960 would be reasonable. And I don't think this is quite 1080. Or, I'm sorry, yeah, it is 1080. What am I saying? Got confused there for a minute. What's the difference between 960 and 1080? It's 120. Okay, so we gotta make sure these frames are 120 apart. So text paragraph 3. So, okay, actually, no, I closed it. So it's 1080 plus 120. What would that be? 1200. So we gotta zoom in a bit and try to find that, because I can't seem to find it on here. Okay, and it said 1980. So it's the wrong value. Hold on. Is it 1980? Yeah, it's 1980. Yeah. 2,180. Okay. Let's go with that. But I don't know. I don't see it on here for some odd reason. Wait, what did I do? What kind of math did I do here? Okay. Yeah, no, that seems about right. But it would actually be right around here. Okay, so let's remember that spot. Because that's where it would start. Nah, actually, you know, the more I think about it, I don't really think it should. Let's just start there, right? It's on its own frame, basically, so... Let's see, the end frame... I mean, I guess what we could do is do like a... What were the other ones? 15 seconds, so this one's also 15 seconds. Okay. Just to make sure they're all like even, you know? Let's actually see this work. Testing with real data is always fun. I don't care what anyone says. If this goes viral, if this game goes viral, then yeah, I hope it inspires the next generation of young inventors. You're actually watching this being developed in real time. Obviously, there will be certain things that are confidential, like API keys and stuff, if I ever go there, but most of it will be public. I don't know if I'm going to charge for this. It's going to be like, hey, support me, dude, on itch.io or something. I had problems with itch.io. The website didn't show up correctly sometimes. Not all the time, but you know, most of the time. Okay. Okay, which one do we just do? Let me actually look at this again. Text paragraph 3 we just did. Okay, so now it's text paragraph 4's turn. So now we gotta put this somewhere. So let's actually drag it on here and put it here. I feel like it automatically places it based on... So I feel like trying to figure out manually where to put it. See, like, I didn't even, like... So the calculation really wasn't that productive because it automatically, like, does it for you. So, okay, so that's good to know. Let's try it now. Another thing that I thought of is adding a skip button, because I don't think players will want to see. There seems to be a significant distance here, so I was sort of wrong earlier when I said I can actually expand this, or not expand it, rather just move it a bit this way. Maybe somewhere over here, maybe. Let's try this again. See what I'm playing. Okay. Now we just have one more paragraph, and then that should wrap it up here. Well, not quite. We still have to do the scene transition. So let's focus on that a bit, I guess. This might be a bit abrupt. We can actually see how this works. Let me just see how this looks right now. Okay, good. It was formatted correctly. Okay, wait. I keep doing something stupid. We'll have to keep playing this and see how get the feel. I think 15 seconds is way too long. Because imagine just sitting here and reading it for 15 seconds. Okay, I made the same mistake with this one. No, not this one. Sorry, this one's fine. Yeah, this should be the final one. And now, you gotta create a scene where we go to the start of the game. Alright, let's try it now. Let's see. Trying to think of an appropriate name for this. Oh, that's another thing I want to do. I want to clean up this because I feel like my scripts folder is a mess. And just categorically organize it. Just so I know where things are. The nice thing is that doesn't really mess up Unity's file system because when you move it somewhere, as long as it stays within Unity, it'll memorize the path. For lack of a better term, memorize I think is appropriate. Alright, so let's go to the build settings and actually add the scene. And we should move this up between these two. So where are we at now? So this should be disabled by default. Why is it opening here? Okay, here it is. Okay, so we have a bunch of other scene management stuff. Level manager is the one that actually like does all this stuff, right? But the question is there a scene manager in here? Which there is, but where do we even use it? That's the question. So I just want to make sure there's no conflicting. The function we're looking for is called load scene. Oh, there isn't anything in here for that. Ah, wait, there is though. Why is it telling me there isn't anything in here? Oh, here it is. Return to main menu, returns to the main menu. So I want to follow a similar convention here. So what we're going to do is add a serializable string to here. The question is, where do we even? Oh, we could do it in every frame as soon as the script awakens. Do we even need to start? Let's go back to the level manager because I feel like we're going to be doing it in here. Pause and unpause. But this happens on user input though. Wait, why am I clicking that? Hold on. Let's go back to that other video and see how we should set our, like, this is one place I'm not like 100% sure on. Where do we, maybe it is important, but I guess where we put the code matters. He does talk about it here though. Okay, let's look here. Oh, okay, on enable, that one. So start and update are kind of meaningless here. So on enable, okay, here is where we would do it. And we still need the scene manager. Scene management, rather. Okay. So we still need this module. And we still want to do, we still want that serializable field. So I'll just add that right now. What are we gonna say? Private scene, because this might be something. We're not always gonna load to the test scene because we want to explicitly tell it where the game's gonna load. Scene. And by the way, let me document this. So we know exactly what we're doing. Documentation, unsurprisingly, is actually my least favorite part of development. But I find fascinating when AI does it. So that's one area that I'm glad to delegate to AI. Because I know it can actually handle, this is one of the best parts of it. Okay, good. So we have this, but we need to provide a name for the scene. Which, let's just make sure we copy it in. Let's go to our build settings and figure out what the name is. It's called new input test. Let's just make sure we're doing this correctly. Save it. You always gotta save. And by the way, now I'm actually pretty confident here. It does start in the event system. Can actually move this a little here. But remember, this only happens on awake, right? So this is going to be disabled by default. But here, yeah. Okay, so let's go to the, so we already added, so what do we even do? We added the first scene. The scene already exists in the build settings. But the thing is, when you go to when you go to the scenes folder and go to the main menu scene, let's just make sure we're not doing anything funky here. This is just like there's like, well, until I add the skip button, there is no user input. So on start, and we actually have a script for that here. So instead of going straight to new input test, we load a prologue scene. So we can just type that in here, prologue. Alright, alrighty. I think we should be good to roll. We can actually test this right here. Let's go to the build settings one more time just to check. So there, yeah. And yeah, hopefully this will actually work. Let's go. Need to turn my controller on because I want to play this with a controller. Okay, so far so good. There's like a 15-second delay here. No, that's working. Okay, now here we go. I feel like we'll introduce what this mutant is and how it's created as we progress through the game. I don't think I want to provide all the exposition here, you know, like that can be provided later on. I would like feedback. Is the delay too short or too long? Alright, this should be the last one. Alright, let's go! Now we should be able to transition, and it disappears. Okay. There we go. How we doing? Well, goddamn. Take a look. Hey, it works. I feel like adding story to adding a lore makes your game feel more alive. I could be wrong, but you gotta. So if anyone wants to correct me on that, feel free to provide your corrections. Depending on how valid your corrections are, I will correct the record. Okay. Alright, let's go back to the main menu for the test new input scene. I think we might have disabled the fade image here. You can leave that disabled, I guess. Well, save this right here. Alright. Why am I having a brain fart? That should be the $1,000,000 question of the day. Well, it's because I want to actually change this to the new input system. So all we gotta do here is just do that, and it did instantaneously. But we do want to add an option on the canvas. And I don't know if we should do that on the player controller or elsewhere. Maybe the UI should have it, I guess. I don't know. Event system. How should we do this? Should we do like a skip or something else? I'm thinking we should do... Actually, let me make sure what's the best way to do it before I actually start hacking away. I'm actually not... Okay. Jumping to an end of a timeline. Alright, okay. There's one object on here called the playable director. Or I guess a good name for it would be a cutscene controller. Okay, so save that. It's only going to be on this specific one. We might make it I don't know if we should make it a prefab or not. Really doesn't make sense to at this point, you know? Alright, let's reset the transform. Okay, so The UI is not really disabled. Disable movement controls for the UI input map. Okay, that's where I think it should be. And create a new action map named UI, which I already have, I think. Player input manager. Be chilling today. Okay, let's think about this. So what we should do is go to the input action asset, which I'm pretty sure what this is. And go to the UI. Within the UI map, add a new action called skip cutscene. And I think that should all be like one word. Skip cutscene. Okay, so then what do I do here? Assign the suitable control scheme. It's a button, right? It's not really a value, it's more of like a button. I know if you're a streamer and I comment on your videos obsessed with the new input system, this is why. This is a freaking amazing thing. Like, let's be honest here. I haven't seen that many tutorials on Rewired though. Let's keep it real. No binding. Let me think about this. Assign it a suitable control scheme. We'll do keyboard and mouse. Or any key keyboard. Okay, that makes sense. We will do gamepad. Can we do like an any key on gamepad? I feel like that's fine. We'll have to like test this obviously. And then what do we do here? Okay, so assign it, and then let's save this because we just created something here and called skip cutscene. Okay, so we can actually do it here. Let's do input action, or player input rather. Wait, why did it delete my asset? Did I not save? Bro, what the hell? Oh, here it is. But wait, where'd it go? Did I like not save it? Dude, that's lame. Why did this happen? Why is this happening? Alright, you know what? Let's try it again. Maybe it's in here. Maybe it's in here. Event system, here it is. But where is this saved? Because it saved it in here. Oh, that's lame. It didn't even save it in here. Goddamn. I thought it saved it. So right, okay, so here's how we, okay, so under player, that looks fine, right? Okay, wait, did I save it in the right spot? No. Let me go back to my original one. So let's go into assets. I was in the wrong folder. Look at me. Just doing bad things. Okay, so we got a bunch of other stuff here. Okay, well, you know, looks like we gotta create a new thing. Or, I don't know, maybe we'll stick to our original plan, and we'll have to do it on skip cutscene. So this is the cutscene controller. Okay, so we don't want that. No, I don't want that one. We'll do like invoke Unity events, right? I don't know if we should do, hold on a sec, events for the UI specifically. We'll go to the event system here, using the input actions, but we could just paste our own. Save it. On skip cutscene. Okay, so what do we do? I think we have to do it in here. Let's do it in here. We'll have to do it again. So like this is where like debugging comes into play, and you gotta be legit here, you know. Okay, so we'll do this one as a keyboard and mouse, and get the listener up. I don't know why that's hidden. We'll create another binding, this time with a gamepad orientation. No. Or an Xbox controller. Let's create another one just to be safe. There's like no right or wrong way to do this. There we go. We're killing it, guys. I guess we really don't need this. Oh, we already had that one. Hold on. It's also a gamepad. Okay, gamepad. I'm pretty sure there's an any key. Because all this should work. Let's do B. Let's do that one. Yes, that one. Save this thing. So skip cutscene is now a thing. And by the way, this is a keyboard and mouse. All this is gamepad stuff. By the way, once we actually like test it, we'll actually see if it works. Okay, so I didn't delete it, good. Wait a sec. Why didn't it add it to the UI? Well, wait, this isn't even a UI thing, is it? Can I just copy an action? I guess I don't really want this. There we go. Should go in here. Alright, so everything copied right, so that's good. You don't want it in here. I think that looks good. Save. Okay, what do we do from here? Well, canvas. Event system. We want to make sure our basic input actions is there. I don't know why it's not showing up in here. Let's refresh it. Okay, so I guess we could sort of add it here. We got our UI. That's where we want it ultimately. Controls changed. It's not really a controls change. We don't really need. Okay, so skip cutscene. To test this out, I guess what we could do is just add. Okay, we don't even have like a script created for this. Let me go back to my there. Okay, so now let us do the following. Let us actually let's actually move this into here. No, not into there. But come on, don't do this to me, dude. It's like taking me out of the flow state. It's an unforgivable crime. Let's delete that. Yes. Let's create it again. For debugging, I can't speak. For debugging purposes, let's remove that. And let's create another one. And actually put it in the right folder this time. It's a script, so it should actually go into scripts folder. Not what I had before. Okay. Cutscene manager. This is what this is, right? This is where we should add everything. So let's go ahead and add our new Unity input system. That's where it should go. We don't really need a starter or an update. Well, we do need this. And if it will add it, great. Then if not, then I don't know. Alright, there we go. It does add the playables automatically if you have the new Visual Studio. Okay, so now what do we do? So now let us do this. Let us do public void onSkip cutscene. The way the new input system works is if context performed, so if they press the button, So for now, let us go back in here and actually just like map everything. This is like a common mistake people could make. Okay, there we go. Alright, so in our player input, in this specific instance here, what we want to do is in I already lost it. Great. Oh no, I didn't. It's right here. Skip cutscene. So let's go ahead and add an object. Cutscene controller. Play cutscene manager on skip cutscene. Alright, so if we play our cards right, then we should be able to skip to the end. So let's try it out. I don't know if anything will happen, but it's always worth giving it a shot. What the hell? Why is this working? Hold on. Nothing's happening. Why isn't anything happening? Okay, here we go. I think UI should be the default map. That's probably why nothing's happening. Okay, there we go. We got it working. So we can either use pretty much any of these controls. Now what I want to do, and this is just like me. And by the way, this won't really show. This is like an info. So let's create a new Text Mesh Pro UI. Let's move this to the tip top. Keys, we don't want to. I'm going to say press any key to skip. So we're most likely going to be adding new keys as we go along. By the way, we want it at the bottom. It's like right there. So if you resize your screen, it'll actually like resize it. Want to auto size it. So just see how that looks. The more I think about it, the more I want it over here. Bottom right makes the most sense to me. I have to rename it too. I don't know, I feel like some games have it over here. Most of the games I ended up playing, that I play, have it over here. That looks legit, doesn't it? Which we don't really care about that. Okay, so let's go ahead and clear the console and actually implement the skip logic. Zircon. I previously mentioned, I don't know if you're like watching this. You're the developer of Flowstone Saga. In your streams, you use a specific debugger control that shows up it shows up in colors. So how do you get that working? I have to. It's basically like a. So if you skip a scene, right? Or I mean, your log messages show up in colors. So successful non-error messages that just tell you like what they're doing, they show up in green, but error messages show up in red. And I'm pretty sure you use a third-party asset for that. If you can tell me what that is, that'd be cool. I appreciate it. Just peachy. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and make this standard. Okay. I think it'd be more legit if you actually switch to the other scene. Try it from there. Let's go for it. Hey, look at that. So if you already like played the prologue, you already know like what should happen and whatnot. I don't like this character, honestly. I'm gonna change the sprite. Yeah, I'm always looking for talent. If anyone knows how to create sci-fi pixel art, or if you know anybody who knows how to do that, send them my way. I'm looking for preferably beginners. Not anything serious. We'll talk about the fees and everything. But yeah. Alright, let me do this again. It's kind of fun. Let me try with the keyboard and mouse this time. There's a I think we made quite a bit of progress here. Okay. I don't know, I feel like for an amateur this is a first real legit attempt. I always have this feeling that there's someone like commenting on my stream. Let me just make sure that's not the case. I always have this feeling. No, it doesn't look like anyone's there. Okay, this will obviously be on my YouTube channel, so if anyone wants to... Is the music even working though? Let's try that. YouTube channel, so if anyone wants to... Is the music even working though? Let's try that. Yeah, it is. Alright, so we should have a pretty good idea on what we just made. There is one thing I noticed that was a bit weird. I'll tell you what that is. So say you start your game and you press B and it just skips. Which is fine. But say there's like that delay, right? So instead of that, what I want to do is go back to the other scene. We'll have to organize this a bit better, but we'll do that soon. Right here, what I want to do is formulate my thoughts a bit, you know. It is called oh, I think that's a better solution. So what I want to do is see if I can actually add this here. Where is it? Oh. Let's see. There we go. Now what would be put in that slot? That's the question I have here. This is where we go, right? Because there is that slight delay and it is a bit annoying. Let's test to see if this works. Oh, wait. You haven't added the code for it yet. Hold on. Let's comment this out so we can easily revert back to it if it breaks. And let's see. If context performed, we want a for each loop that skips it. I also don't want this TextMess Pro here to show up because it, you know what, let's run it and see how it works first. And we'll figure out whatever adjustments we need to make. What's interesting is it still skips it. There's still that slow delay though, you know. We want this to go away because the thing is, the user already knows, hey, well, they skipped it. I guess this just gives us more precision. So I don't know if this is necessary. But, you know, we kind of already had it going on. I'll leave this out as experimental. It's not gonna like quite delete it yet. And we're gonna go here. Alright, so where do we go from here? We do want a Text Mesh Pro. Where would that even come from? Do you have an example of where we got the Text Mesh Pro? Oh, here, it might be in here. Hold on. Do we need to import Unity Engine's UI? Or can we just like say, or is that like not necessary? Because Text Mesh Pro. So I don't, okay, let's say, okay, let's just presumably comment this out. Okay, that's why. Okay. But for our case here, I don't think we really need to. The more I think about it, I think I want to just use this. Because this is actually where we want to do it, right? If the clip is that. We also want a Text Mesh Pro thing. We'll have to go through and make all these serializable. I'll probably do that like, I don't know, it seems like it feels like busy work, honestly, but I don't know if I want to do it now. I have to add that as a task, which I'll probably do. Okay, I'm going to use this as like a task manager in the next video. Or let me just add that as a comment. I'm a terrible writer. Yeah, I'm not going to do that now or in this video. This video's purpose is to finish up the prologue screen. This session's purpose is to do exactly that. But we still have to like, okay, so the reason I got sidetracked and just went off in opposite directions here is because I wanted to copy this in here. So essentially what I want to do is make this a private serializable field. Shame on me for not doing that. One thing about the OBS integrated Twitch chat is it doesn't let you pin comments. Pin chats, rather. And that is a bit irritating, in my personal opinion. But, okay, this is actually like skip text. And obviously, currently don't have a skip text. Or it should be in here soon. Ah, here it is. There we go. Okay, so let's save this and test it. Because it kind of looks a bit goofy that when they, because you don't want the player to think nothing happened. There we go, that looks more natural. Obviously not. I mean, actually it does. What am I saying? Let's try this again, because it does look kind of cool. Let's try with a keyboard and mouse this time. I do want the input to register mouse clicks, so I do want to add that as well. Okay. Should we make this like... Do we really need a long delay? What if I like decrease the delay length? Because this happens instantaneously. All this is like trial and error anyway, so it's like, okay. Okay, yeah. I don't even know if that mattered at all. So, we'll just leave it the way it is. Alright, what else do I want to do? You know, the more I think about it, the more... We should probably create like an animation to the text. I know I've done this like a million times. I don't want it to glow, but... For here, I guess what we could do is create like a... Okay, so that's probably how you have to do it. This is like not, if it doesn't work, if it looks terrible, we're just gonna remove it, but I'm like practically done with what I was trying to achieve. This is just me trying to like find silly things to do. It's more like an outro if you can. If you want to call it an outro, that's kind of what it is. Let me try to find it. Okay, so the most important thing here. I'll change this to awake. There's no start method. Actually, yeah, let's remove all this stuff. And create a serializable field. I don't know why we need a renderer. Does my object have a renderer? Is it really? What is a renderer? Because I actually don't know what a renderer is. Let's create a serializable field. Make this a serial so I know exactly what that is. If my object even has it or not. I don't know if that's the best way to like learn about individual components, but none. Okay. Okay, so this was probably garbage. Don't need that. It pretty much has it. Okay, so it definitely has this. So we still want this. We still want that. We still want this. Actually, that no. Why did I say that? It doesn't make any sense. Let's write an awake function, and let's write an update. Let's create an update stub. So that we don't end up with a null reference error. Check if the timer has reached the flash rate. What does that mean? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Okay, so we increment the timer. So what we're going to do now is check the timer has reached a flash state. Flash rate, rather. If that happens, if that's true, we reset the timer. Now we want to toggle the alpha, but we only do that in here. There we go. Now I think this should work. As soon as we'll have to play around with the numbers, but we'll see what happens. Hell yes. I also want to make this yellow, just to make it stand out a little bit, you know? But if I make it yellow, what does that mean? I've never messed around with glow. I don't know, I haven't. This doesn't look like it's doing anything. I don't even know if that matters. Honestly, none of this really matters. I don't know, the more I look at this, it looks great. I kind of like this. I'll keep this for now. We'll see what happens. Let's save this. And yeah, let's continue. But now it changed this too. So whatever I change on that one specifically, it applies it to all TextMesh Pros. Which I don't know if I want. I don't know if I want that. Let me switch it back. What about the other ones? Do they? No, doesn't look like they do. Okay. Oh, it's probably because this font is applying to everything, which I don't want necessarily. I feel like that's way too much to do right now, anyway. But all I wanted to do is to make it obvious that okay. So when I say press any key to skip, that means press literally any key to skip. So let's go back to our player input asset and actually apply that. I think it's in here. Okay, so skip cutscene. We have how many keys? We have any key on the keyboard. We also want the start button on a gamepad. So let's create another binding. Call it gamepad. We already have one for select. We already have one for east. West, I guess, is X. Alright. Let's add another one. This is pretty tedious, but well worth it. Button north. We don't have one for north. Let's see, let's just group all these together so it doesn't become confusing. There we go. So we got select, which is, if you can't see my gamepad controller, it's this right here. We got start. And by the way, these are all gamepad. West would be X. East would be B. North. We don't have one for south, so that's the one I was trying to figure out, like which one we're missing. Okay, so first thing we always want to do is set it to gamepad. Simply just press that, and yeah. Now it should register. Always make sure you save. Okay, so now what do we do? So we got all those. Now we also want to not forget these. So I'll just do that really quickly. Did the music already stop? Hold on, let me reset that. This one's a gamepad. This one's not, so we gotta make it that. Once you, like, when you do it once, it becomes like muscle memory. If there's a better way to actually do this, tell me. I would love to know. Seriously. We also want to do it for when the user presses these. So let's do it for that too. Oops. I actually want to listen for it rather instead of just like pressing it. So left stick and right stick. Okay, good, good, good. Now all that's left, these bad boys. It's getting pretty overwhelming, isn't it? Hold on a sec. Let me listen. D-pad up. D-pad down. Oh wait, I overrode the other one. Hold on. These are all gamepad controls, by the way. Just saying. Gamepad. D-pad left. Always make sure you save. Otherwise, everything you do is all for naught. So down, up, left, right. Okay, I think that should be all of the controls. Alright, there's one more I want to add, and this one's not really a keyboard binding or a gamepad binding. It's more of a mouse binding. Here it is. No. I'm sorry. It'd be a mouse. Crap, hold on. Oh, wait. There. I don't think I saved last time, which is why we didn't really... Alright, now let's try it. How is that? Works first try, you know? I still would like to see colors here instead of like just a generic message. I would love to. I know it's like a asset on the asset store. I would love to, for somebody who knows what that asset is, that changes the colors in the console to fill me in, or it might be a completely different console. That's also possible. All right, I think we. Oh, what else did we forget to do? Okay, so we added the skip. Press any key to skip. We did that, so that's good. We got the paragraphs working. We learned how to use timelines. Yeah, I think we pretty much have everything. All right. I think we're good. So in the next video, we're just gonna go through every script and anything that's like serializable but doesn't use a serialized field. It will actually have serialized, unless it's actually meant to be public. We'll know if it is or not based on errors we get. But if it's only used in like one specific file, then we might as well make it a serialized field. So yeah. I'll stop the stream here. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you're watching this on Twitch, don't forget to follow. You probably won't be in the future, or if you are, if you made it this far, definitely follow me. And if you're interested in where I'm going with this project, yeah. I'll see you guys later.